Everyone says, enjoy your 20s. Don't worry, have fun. But what if I told you that advice is incomplete? The biggest risk in your 20s are not about failures or mistakes. They are about behaviors you allow in yourself and in others around you. I want to share 5 behaviors you should never tolerate in your 20s or early 30s. These 5 behaviors quietly shape your career, your relationships, and by the end, you will see what to stop accepting. Toxic relationships may be of different kinds. It may be with your friends, life partner, or even among family members. Irrespective of that, if someone is disrespecting you and crossing your boundaries or draining your energy, and what's worse than that is tolerating them silently. It's harmful to you. You see, in your 20s, the people around you shape your confidence, your habits, and overall your worldview. And small repeated behaviors like subtle criticism, manipulation, or unreliability from their part can seem normal if you ignore them. And that's how it works. You see, toxic relationships, you don't know it's toxic until you realize it and it's already late. You somehow convince yourself that whatever they're doing, even if it's harmful to you, it's quite normal. And when you ignore any kind of signs like this, you become oblivious to the fact that this is not normal and it's not healthy. Consider a friend who's always asking you for money but never pays you back. Or let's say you have a romantic partner who is always belittling your dreams. Or a family member who's always trying to compare you with another cousin of yours. At that time, you excuse it like thinking, oh, maybe they meant well, or maybe I'm being too dramatic. But over the months and over the years, these small subtle changes erode away at your self esteem and limit your growth. And here are 3 tips to address such situations. First, always set clear boundaries and try to communicate with them directly. Boundaries are very important. Second is always evaluate the relationship in terms of their long term impact on your well being. Third, and the most important, do not be afraid to step away from that people who consistently hurt you. Your 20s are the perfect time to set healthy relationship boundaries. The habits you shape now will set the tone for your relationship for decades to come. And speaking of finding the right opportunities, if you are a student looking for scholarships or universities abroad, you need help crafting a standout CV, or you want expert feedback on your motivation letter, I offer personalized consulting services to get you ahead. All for a small fee, you can get expert help. All you have to do is visit my website in the description. There, click on book now and you fill the Google Forms. All the information is embedded in there and I will take care of the rest because I have done this before. Now it's my turn to help you out. I know it's tempting to take the safe route, like a job that pays well, low stress levels, and also maybe predictable hours. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever we do, comfort feels good, right? And safe feels easy. But to be honest, that comfort is deception. Because in your 20s, your skills and your networks or the connections you make compound over time. And every small decision matters. It might also mean that you're missing out on your opportunities on big challenges, missing out on mentorships, putting yourself in challenging situations where you can actually learn. Let me give you an example. Maybe you have a friend who has been working way before you in the same position for years, maybe 5, 10 years. I know for him that safety net, that comfort feels good because it's low risk. But over time, opportunities may pass by. Promotion goes to someone else, and the idea of growing is stagnated. So the comfort now feels like a cage. And there are 3 ways to avoid this. First is to seek projects that are challenging. Even if they're uncomfortable, that's how you grow challenges. Second is to ask your colleagues or your mentors for feedback because this allows you to see things you don't quite see it yourself, maybe let's say from a third or second person perspective. And third, and the most important, treat every task you tackle or every challenge you face as a chance to grow, even if it's small or tiny. Everything matters. So, if you settle now, you might feel like you're catching up in your 30s instead of building on and adding more. Many young adults think I'm too young for saving, budgeting, or investing. Personally, I'm doing saving and budgeting, but I'm getting more into investing maybe when I learn a thing or two, I might share with you guys. But I think we already know that even small investments compound over time, right? If you borrow money and don't give it back, or if you don't have the resources, debt builds invisibly. It only grows. And when you get older and opportunities slip by and you're in debt and you don't have money, you know what happens? Stress increases. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone starts working at 22, and for the past 5 years, they have been earning money, but they're in a situation where they don't have any emergency money. So this means that when someone avoids the very basic fact of investing or at least saving, things go into chaos. And here are two ways to avoid this. First, this is not just from me. Every entrepreneur or like a financial advisor or guru has said this. Have an emergency fund. It might not be a lot, maybe 20, 30 to $50 a month. That's the least you can do. So have an emergency fund. You never know when something might struck you. Second is to track your spending. But even if you cannot, the act of being aware of your spending is very powerful because awareness alone can change your behavior towards money. So, financial responsibility is not about denying yourself of freedom and happiness from spending your money. It's about creating the ways for freedom which you can later enjoy in life. Procrastination, perfectionism, overthinking, or constant comparison. They silently steal your time and confidence. So imagine you are a 24-year-old who has the idea to start a business, but you keep on waiting for that perfect moment. When you wait every day for that perfect moment, every day, hesitation compounds. Then those perfect moments turn into days, and days turn into months, and months turn into years. And at the end of the day, the fear of failure becomes normalized. Because in our 20s, we are very much still shaped by our environment and our people around us. Even if I feel quite confident in a lot of things, there are a lot of times when I feel self doubt like, will I make it? Will I make through this? And every time I get this question to myself, you know what happens? This negativity, it drags me down. You see, external forces always drag you down, but they don't matter as much as your own internal friction that drags your whole self confidence. So, here are a few tips to counter such situations. First is to always, this is very basic and very important. Always, if you have a big goal, break them down into smaller and more actionable ones. And second is to always surround yourself with people whom you can learn on and push you, like people who you can use as a model for growth and resilience. Your 20s are the perfect decade to experiment. So, travel, learn, meet new people, take on new challenges, and at the end of the day, fail, but safely. You see, the thing is, avoiding discomfort can feel safe, but it limits who you become. So, consider someone who avoids travel, meeting new people, or taking on challenging projects just because it's convenient and uncomfortable. And I know comfort feels easy, but it silently erodes curiosity, resilience, and independence. And here are a few tips for growth. Always push past your boundaries, even in the smallest and the most consistent ways. Maybe becoming better at speaking in public or taking a leadership role, whatever. Second is to take calculated risk instead of avoiding taking any risk at all. They reflect regularly from time to time like, are you choosing growth or are you choosing comfort? Growth is uncomfortable, but your 20s are the perfect time to fail without enormous consequences. So, these are the 5 behaviors you should never tolerate in your 20s. First is from toxic relationships. Second is settling for mediocrity at work. Third was ignoring financial responsibility. Fourth was allowing self sabotage and negative mindset. And fifth, overall, choosing comfort over growth. Your 20s aren't a highlight reel, they are a foundation. Every behavior you tolerate now sets the stage for your career, your relationships, and overall your life. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness, reflection, and the courage to make small changes every single day. Problems can be of different kinds and can be everywhere. When we are a student and or a professional, we face problems, challenges every single day. So here are very weird and simple 3 hacks that solve 90% of your problems. Feel free to check it out.